My name's Kevin Long. Welcome to Innovation in Motion. Tonight's panelists will be speaking about video marketing, kind of tackling that topic. The topic tonight is Video Killed the Radio Star. We meant to be playing the song over and over again for half an hour, but that sort of got voted down by committee. So we're just going to jump into it right here. So just before we start things out, we want to thank our sponsors for putting all this together. One, Crowd Compass for hosting the space. Round of applause, Crowd Compass. Any of the founders from Crowd Compass here tonight? Mr. Dave Shanley in the back. Dave, would you like to say just a word what Crowd Compass does? Any announcements?
Yeah, sure. So we make mobile apps for events, transforming the whole experience and giving attendees like conferences, trade shows, a completely different experience than they have access to their information. Scheduled in a whole new kind of social networking layer on top of that. We're hiring basically in all departments, growing the engineering side, marketing side, and our customer solutions, client services, delivery side. So if you're interested in that, sounds like an interesting endeavor, go ahead and check our jobs page. I think it's just crowdcompass.com/jobs.
That's it. Crowd Compass is hiring. Check it out. And next, we'd like to thank the sponsor who gave us these fancy glasses. Even though we're still drinking PBR, we do have the fancy glasses. The Software Association of Oregon. Skip is here. Actually, do you have a microphone there? Want to hand that microphone? Skip, do you just want to say a couple words about Software Association?
All right. Well, thank you for having us tonight. And one thing I just wanted to say is we're really pleased to be partnering with Context Partners and Crowd Compass and helping to support this program series. It's really a high-quality event and fantastically put together. One thing I'll just say is that with the Software Association of Oregon, we're really just focused on three main things, and that is we're focused on advocacy on behalf of the industry. We're doing industry promotion, both within the state and in key markets on behalf of our member companies. And we're also focused on connecting people and companies, both virtually and in person through our events and series, just like this one, that we'd love to support. So with that, hope you enjoyed the presentation this evening, and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Skip. And last, just thanking Context Partners as well. I don't think anyone's here from that organization, but thanks for the sponsorship and support here. So just a quick introduction to the panelists before we dive into the full intro. I always like to take a couple votes. But just to go down the line here, we have Keith Wymbs. Keith, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Keith is a VP of Marketing of Elemental Technologies. Keith's going to be talking a lot about the work that they do in video marketing as well. Next to Keith is Thomas Robertsson. Robertsson. I'm going to get it for them tonight. Thomas is the business development person from Deltatre.
Deltatre.
Deltatre. Deltatre. Thank you. And Zeke. Zeke, how do you say your last name? I'm striking out here.
Camusio.
Camusio. Zeke Camusio is the CEO of the Outsourcing company, SEO, superstar expertise. So before we start, we'd like to just do a couple votes here. I like to just kind of guess from the crowd. The winner tonight gets to take home all the leftover PBR. This is a very special prize. But you got to get at least 2 out of the 3. So yell it out if you know. What is the website earlier this year that passed up Yahoo.com, positioning itself at number 3 for the most popular website in the world? MySpace, Facebook, no. Pinterest, no. No. What? YouTube. Boom, we have a winner. This man is in the lead for the PBR. Video marketing people, YouTube, that was your hint. What new service did YouTube launch last month that all savvy video marketers should know about? YouTube Live, this man loves his PBR. All right, do not blow it here. This is your last one. I'm looking for number of hours.
The third answer is Google. No.
According to the latest data from ComScore, 182 million U.S. internet users watched online video content during the month of December 2011, for an average of how many hours in the month? 7.5, that's low. 23. Who said that? It's 23. Who just said that? That was incredible. You guys are going to have to fight over the PBR at the end of the night. All right. That was incredible. It's 23 hours a month. I actually thought that was a pretty low number. So we're doing better here, people. Let's jump into this. Zeke from the outsourcing company. Christopher is tasked with finding the different PowerPoints and videos. We have a few different ones. We're going to show some videos just because it's video marketing, but he's going to start out with Zeke's PowerPoint. There you go. So Zeke, if you want to just start introducing yourself, and we'll pull up your PowerPoint here.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm the CEO and founder of the Outsourcing company. We're an online marketing agency providing social media and SEO services. I think that's a good intro, and maybe the video will tell you the rest.
Zeke, you're an author, aren't you? Go back one, Christopher.
Yeah, I don't know why that's
that's a Mac thing, but go ahead. So you wrote a book, yeah?
Yeah, the Internet Marketing Bible is one of the top-selling SEO books on Amazon.
Okay. So we're going to have each of the panelists actually show a video intro because it's video marketing, and then we're going to score who's the winner here.
Is your website slacking off, or is it working hard to make you money? As you're watching this video, there are thousands of customers looking for a business just like yours on Google. Are you at the top? If customers can't find you, you simply don't exist. And your competition makes all the sales that you could have made and blocks you from reaching new buyers. Are you using social media to put your company in front of buyers? Does your website engage your visitors? Do you have a strong marketing message, a video, testimonials, and a call to action? Or do you have a bunch of boring text that you know nobody even bothers to read? There are thousands of digital marketing agencies, so why have companies like Chevrolet, Burger King, and Subaru chosen us? Results. We increased Paleo Plan's monthly traffic by 536% in 4 months, and we helped them double their revenue. We tripled the number of leads for PS Moving in 5 months. We helped EnglishLCI.com increase revenue from $100,000 per year to $1.2 million in a year. We've helped over 300 companies rank at the top of Google and skyrocket their revenues. Last year, 6 of our clients asked us to stop their campaigns because they had too much business. So, what's next? Enter your web address in this box for a free website analysis and quote. Don't let your website be lame. Outsource your web worries and let us help you make it awesome.
Now Zeke's going to show us a list of clients who asked him to stop helping him make money.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
How'd you make that video, by the way?
We did it in-house. We have a motion graphic artist. We have a copywriter that did the script. And we use voices.com for the voiceover talent.
Voices.com?
Yeah.
So you just wrote the script up, they read it for you, you overlaid it?
Yeah, it's really cool. You basically upload the PDF or Word document, and then you say, I want, if you have any preference, whether it's going to be a female or a male voice, and what age, what kind of accent. So you basically put it out there, and normally you get anywhere from 20 to 50 people to actually read out loud your. They don't read the whole thing because you could take it, but they read like only half. So that way you can see which style you like the best. And the user interface is really cool because you can play all the different audios from one page, and then basically hire someone. And normally you can hire someone pretty good. Like this guy, he charges. I think it was like $100 or $120. So it's super affordable. And prices were anywhere from $80 to like $200. So because you get to set your own budget. So yeah, they're a really good resource.
Awesome. Voices.com.
Voices.com. Yeah.
Cool. And do you have one more slide? Yeah. You want to just scroll through those, Christopher, and pull them all up? Right there. You just want to talk just a minute about what you do here?
Yeah, definitely. So when I talked to Kevin for the first time, what we thought I could bring to the table is how to make videos more findable online. And the first thing you need to look at is keyword research. So the same way you do keyword research for a website, you need to do keyword research for your videos. So whenever you're about to write a title or the description, you need to make sure that you include the right keywords so your videos can be found. The other main thing, especially on YouTube, is that you'll notice that every video has tags. And that's, when you're on YouTube, you notice that you have the main video that you're watching, and then you have other related videos on the right. Now, what YouTube uses to figure out what videos are going to go on the right are mainly the tags. So there are two tricks that we use for our clients. The first one is we analyze and we look for the most popular videos in an industry, and we see what tags they're using, and we use those same tags for our clients. And our clients get a lot of exposure because when someone goes to YouTube and watches a video that has like 4 million views, they see our clients' videos on the side just because they're using the same tags as these popular videos. The other thing we recommend is that you choose a unique tag that nobody else is using. So it could be, your company name, 123, whatever. It has to be something unique. So if you search for it, basically you shouldn't see any results. So once you found a tag that nobody's using, you use this tag in all your videos, because when somebody is watching one of your videos, they're going to see all the other videos that you produce on the right side of the screen just because they have the same tag.
Because you're just multiplying the tags on it.
Right, because you have a unique tag and nobody else has that tag in their videos. So
Zeke, I want to go over video response and annotations as well during the Q&A. Yeah. But just one more slide just for the intro. Do you have a list of companies that you're working with up here just for your intro?
Yeah, basically the ones that, for some reason, the PowerPoint wasn't rendering very well, but the ones we had there are the same ones that got mentioned in the video.
How big is your company?
We have 8 employees.
How many?
8.
8? And yeah. How many clients do you have?
About 55 now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to get into more SEO optimization, video, VSEO questions with Zeke. Keith?
Yep.
Why don't you give the one-liner elevator pitch while Christopher pulls up your video?
Okay. So I'm Keith Wymbs with Elemental Technologies, and Elemental produces video processing equipment that helps companies get their video onto multi-screen devices. So if you look at what's happened over the last few years in terms of video delivery to mobile devices or tablets or PCs, or internet-connected TVs of any sort, Elemental is powering a lot of the large deployments in that area.
And multi-screen, can you talk a little bit about that a little bit?
Yeah, multi-screen is really just about all the different screen sizes that you have. So you've got profiles that are used for delivery to iPhones as well as tablets, and you want to optimize for that particular kind of size of rectangle. For that size of glass.
So I think a lot of people look at you guys as a hardware company.
Yeah, we sell as an appliance model, but we are a software company. So we take off-the-shelf hardware that happens to use graphic processing units that are pretty typical for the gaming world, and we figured out how to program those for video compression. So everything that we sell is off-the-shelf hardware, but it's making unique use of that hardware in order to deliver a multi-screen experience.
Okay. Did it cost you $100?
It was less than that.
It was less than that?
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
In-house.
In-house. We have 2 in-house people.
Yeah.
Thomas, you got some competition here. You better say in-house.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we didn't have a band play that music.
You didn't.
No.
So you got the recorded music. You threw together clips.
We got clips. We got authorization from most of those companies to take that content. And,
that was the wrong thing to say. Live streaming. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Let's jump to the PowerPoint a little bit. Talk about the companies you work with a little bit.
Yeah. So on the next slide, and from the video, those are obviously all customers of ours. And as I mentioned earlier, we do multi-screen delivery. So if you think about the HBO Go app or Comcast Xfinity, any of the on-demand content that they produce, whether it goes to your iPad or a smartphone, a Droid device, if you're watching Comcast Xfinity on a device outside of the TV set, or even on a TV set now, it's produced by Elemental equipment at a location either in Philadelphia or Denver. Some of the other ones I have up there, ESPN, we do all of ESPN's on demand for multi-screen, so any content you see in terms of clips, that's been produced by a piece of Elemental software and hardware combined. And then ABC News was the thing that really put us on the map. 2 years ago, we launched our product line that we're generating most of our revenue from now, and it was literally a few months in advance of the launch of the iPad, and ABC wanted to have all their content on their Spinning Globe iPad app and realized that existing solutions couldn't get that content there fast enough. So we're really good at helping media companies digest the amount of content that they want to produce for not only for the iPad, but the 20 different flavors of content that they need to create in order to have some level of ubiquity in terms of their delivery. I won't go into the solutions, it's a little too specific. You know, some of the trends that make our business kind of relevant and is causing us to take off is in the professional world, and we deal entirely in the professional grade content. If you look at the last six decades of content production and what's been produced, you know, what's happening in the current decade is unprecedented. It predicted nothing. If you looked at the linear growth that happened over the last 60 years, starting with 3 channels of, you know, typical broadcast to the analog cable that came around and eventually digital, and then going into the world that we had of 500 live channels that you can select on your satellite, it's nothing compared to what's happening now in terms of the production of content for all the different streams that we carry around today. And so that really makes for the question of how do you deal with producing all that content. And that's where we really fit well. If a customer has to produce a ton of high quality content, existing industry solutions really don't scale. They have to add racks and racks of equipment. Sometimes they have to move their real estate, frankly, in order to accommodate the type of growth that's going on in the industry. And then the next slide I have is kind of a conceptual slide, but it's actually based on the reality of HBO. And that's the fact that they don't just create one version of content. You're creating different versions for different size screens. And even within that, you're creating different profiles so that you can deal with any type of network situation or kind of memory processing situation at the player level, at the end user level. You have to have 6, 7, 8 different versions of content just for one screen size to be able to handle different network issues on wireless, Wi-Fi, whatever it may be. And so that's creating that bulge essentially in the previous slide where you just see the massive ramp of content.
How many staff do you have?
We are at 70. We were at 40 at the end of last year. We've added roughly 30, and we're halfway through basically our hiring plan for the end of the year. We'll be at 100 by the end of the year.
So you're hiring? And
we are hiring a lot.
All right. If anyone wants a lot of jobs, go to Elemental Technologies.
Yeah, we do 2 for each person that comes in.
It's a 2-for-1 deal. So, and you're based where?
We're right downtown. We just moved offices about 3 weeks ago, so we're right on Broadway and Oak.
Okay.
Really, really nice location there. It's cool.
And you just recently won an award from Software Association
Skip.
at the gala. What was the award?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the award was for the company that's won the most awards.
So if you guys go to an award ceremony in Portland or even beyond, you're going to see Elemental Technologies there.
Too funny.
Yeah. Great. Thomas?
Yeah, so I'm Thomas Robertsson. I work in business development for Deltatre. I've actually only been in Portland for a year and a half. I used to be the head of operations in London. Deltatre is a sports, media, and technology company. We work with a lot of the large international sports federations and broadcasters. We're originally from Italy. We were founded in 1986. And we have offices in London, Paris, New York, and Portland. But Portland is in my basement, so it's not it's not very big at the moment. And yeah, so we got a video.
Let's jump on this. This video actually shows a lot of what their company does, and it goes into a lot of the detail, which I think is interesting because when I watched this video, I thought, God, there is so much going on these sports shows with all these animations and graphics and everything that like I don't even notice anymore. I just expect it. And so now you can kind of see a little bit of what sort of technology goes into creating that.
Deltatre is a sports media services company providing technology, operations, design, and production services for the web, video, graphics, and results. Deltatre's results systems collect an ever-increasing amount of data across multiple sports at major events. Our Matrix data platform aggregates and stores a vast repository of information that provides data for TV graphics, match printouts, commentator information screens, as well as web and mobile platforms. The D3D graphics platform is Deltatre's own graphics client and renderer. This powerful solution can deliver complex real-time HD graphics. Deltatre provides all-in match graphics for UEFA Champions League, Euro tournaments, and FIFA events. Magma is our match analysis graphics machine product. The system combines the power of data with a virtual graphics engine that gives users the ability to create compelling 3D analysis graphics. Deltatre is able to design, build, and deliver stereoscopic 3D graphics using our own platform. We provide all Sky Sports 3D Premier League graphics, as well as Ryder Cup and World Championship boxing coverage. Video at Deltatre encompasses a raft of products and services. Diva is Deltatre's leading-edge video player technology. Our data-integrated video application is the ultimate combination of video and data. The technology powers Sky Sports Event Center, online, and on the iPad. Diva has also been used to deliver video for the IRB's Rugby World Cup site and Channel 4's online coverage of the World Athletics Championships. The technology will also be driving the video solutions for the 4 biggest websites for London's Olympic Games. Our content management system is a web-based production tool that's been optimized to give users a rich media experience. Social media is integrated into all of our web products. Deltatre knows that social is key for sport. We're able to design an immersive user experience for smartphones, tablets, and connected TVs. Integrating video and rich data into applications provides users with the functionality they need whenever they need it.
I don't know exactly what that is, but it looks sweet. I want to buy one. So what companies are you working with?
So we work with leading sports federations, so UEFA, FIFA, are big clients of ours. We also work with some of the larger broadcasters in the world, so NBC, BBC, CTV, and various others.
We have a slide of that, I think. Let's just put that up. Go to the second slide there, Christopher. And next slide.
Yeah, so it's primarily sports federations and broadcasters. And,
so if I'm seeing something on sports, your software is behind it?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you go to the next slide, you'll see the events we work on. So we primarily work for soccer. Soccer is the largest part of our business, but we also do a lot of things for the Olympics and for athletics and golf. We don't do a lot of the US sports.
Okay.
So it's primarily the international sports that we're working.
Okay. And so your video, did you make it in-house?
It was produced in-house, but I think the graphics were done externally.
Yeah. I think that video costed more than these two combined.
It did, yeah, probably.
Okay, so we're going to dive into some questions here. I want to pull up one other quick video to set the stage and show a different type of video commercial. Some of you may have known about this. It's if any men here that shave and spend half their salary on their razors are sick of it. Here's a video that cost this company $5,000. It's had over 4 million hits. Let's just take a look at this, and then we're going to dive into some questions about, what are companies looking to serve up to customers nowadays, and then from the opposite perspective, what are some of the trends we're seeing, and then maybe we'll jump over to Zeke and see if he can tell us how they could what they could have done to optimize this video a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you.
Oh, man. That's a great place to stop on the video.
I'd like to comment on that spinning wheel later.
Yeah.
Obviously not encoding using Elementor.
All right, hey, Christopher, maybe just stop the video there. You're going to have to look online and see the other 10 seconds of this video.
Come on, you got to finish it.
Are we going to load it up? Are we going to wait?
Press play.
How many of you in this audience have seen this commercial before? Okay. How many of you in this? Oh, here we go.
Razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing?
Man, oh man, just stop the video. We got to get to the panel here. All right, for those of you who'd like to stick around and watch this commercial, we'll be showing it at 9 o'clock tonight at Innovation in Motion. So a couple of things I just want to talk about. We went through, we looked at a couple of videos here from the panelists. We look at this video. This video is interesting because I thought it was interesting because it's a guy in a warehouse. What do you do with that sort of a prop thing? You're sending out razors, which is incredibly boring. And they made a cheap video. They made it very fun, and the thing has hit 4 million views. So I'm just sort of curious of, I think we all know, how many professional sports stars are in the room today? 1, 2. How many people have ever produced a video that's gone viral? Right? 1. Okay, so about the same amount. So it's almost impossible, both of those two fields. And I'm just curious of, let's talk a little bit about what people are wanting to consume. Are they wanting to consume a cartoon type video? Are they wanting to consume, action video or a digital video or videos that is, a guy who misses a tennis ball and throws a tennis racket away? Maybe you guys can talk a little bit about trends of what consumers are wanting.
Well, I can say that even this guy, if he wanted to do another viral video, chances are it might not go viral. So something important to keep in mind is even expert marketers who've been doing a lot of viral videos. It's sometimes you hit it, sometimes you miss it. It's just how it goes. So that's something to keep in mind. So I see that a lot of companies that are doing a really good job with social media, basically they put out a lot of content. Some of it sticks and some of it doesn't. So
You never know.
There's no formula. I mean, when you look at the top 10 or top 50 most popular videos on YouTube, they're all different.
Okay, so jumping aside from just viral video, it's always kind of an interesting topic, but just actual consumption habits of the consumer. I mean, maybe, Keith, you could talk a little bit about this. Like in the last 10 years, from your perspective, how have the consumption habits of just general video watching, whether it be sports and or whatnot, changed?
You know, the way I've been looking at it recently, I'm kind of into food, you can tell maybe a little bit, but, and I like to cook. Right, and you think about consumption of video, and the reality is that, you know, if you make the analogy to food, the way we used to get it, you get the whole chicken right on your plate, and that's what you get. You get the whole big chicken that your grandmother used to make.
Right.
And now, you know, in terms of video, any professionally produced video, it's typically being sliced and diced and, you know, turned into something that's a full dish for different people with different appetites. And that fragmentation that's happening is what's driving, in my mind, you know, some of the charts that I put up earlier in terms of the explosion of content that's happening, is the fact that the cost of the technology has come down so much. To produce an event has come down a lot. To be able to produce extremely high quality content that can get delivered to devices in very, you know, aesthetically pleasing environment has gone down a lot. And the ability to change it and morph it, you know, you see things now with the interjection of social media and that interactivity that's happening in terms of the broadcast shows that are still on the air. They're trying to inject that social media part by putting Twitter feeds that are curated. You know, they're not raw. If they were raw, it would get a little dangerous. The FCC would get a little upset by F-bombs and stuff like that, but right. You know, it's really trying to target that individual within that audience and see how they can connect to it. The thing that I think is viral about this is that it's not only funny, okay, yeah, it's funny, but it's authentic. There's some truth to what he's saying in terms of, I think it's ridiculous how much I pay for a razor. And you know how I deal with it is I just buy like one a year.
So do I, and I just suffer. I suffer. Oh my God.
I just shaved today for the first time in like a month.
Oh man, I'm in that club. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, what about from the business perspective, Thomas? You're doing a lot of content for big companies. What are companies expecting, or what have you seen like a shift wise in video content of what they want to see?
Well, I mean, I think, like he says, there's been an explosion in choice. So you got the famous long tail of content. And I mean, what we focus on specifically is sports content. And you know, the content is the same. And what's just changing is the way that people consume it. So you know, there are a number of underlying factors that are contributing to this. And one is obviously the quality of the content. I mean, we had an interesting buffering experience here, and you know, we switched off immediately, and you know, in the digital space, that can't happen. And what's contributing to that not happening is the evolution in technology. So you know, for example, the quality of the content you can now get on the web is comparable to what you can get on the telly. So I got a Netflix streaming service at home, and I got a Comcast HD cable, and I get the same quality now on my Netflix as I get on my Comcast. And also is the availability. The availability of content has exploded. So when online video started, you had YouTube, short clips of funny clips, whatever, viral videos. But now you go online and you can find anything. And in our space, you almost expect, if you're a supporter of a niche sport, you expect to find that content online. And if you don't, you get surprised. And so that's how we see consumer habits evolving, and you know, TV is linear, it's finite, and you know, we can talk about the Olympics a little bit later. But the Olympics is 3,500 hours of content in 16 days, and you know, you just can't get that through traditional telly.
Right. That is interesting. I mean, let's actually just dive into that for a minute, and then I want to talk a little bit about. I mean, I think it's interesting that Keith is saying you used to have this chicken, and now it's like a little chicken wing, and if it's more than that, no one's going to sit around. And like Tom was saying, if the video goes down, you're gone, right? So optimizing for that is really interesting. I want to ask Zeke a little bit about that. But just, talking about the Olympics. The Olympics, they're kind of pushing it out as the first digital Olympics ever this year.
Yeah.
Why are they pushing? I mean, because it seems to me like it always was digital. What is the difference? And what are people going to be able to see this year?
Well, it's had a digital presence, but it hasn't been to the extent that they expect for the London Games. So, for example, NBC will show every second of the Olympics online, and that's 3,500 hours in 16 days. And if you take that plus the BBC, for example, would be running 27 concurrent channels, and basically we estimate that 1 billion people will consume the Olympics on digital, and that's why it's considered the first true digital Olympics, because you will be able to access every content. Doesn't matter what the sport is, what it is, on any device, anywhere you want, and any time.
We've won a number of Olympics deals recently over the last 9 months, and it's amazing how, from our business standpoint, we won the first deal and it's cascaded. So we're actually the source for the multi-screen content in like 40 different countries this year for the Olympics, and every some of these countries it's not necessarily that top tier of country. Like, everyone wants to be able to deliver it, and part of the IOC's charter is actually to be able to deliver the Olympics as much as to as many people as possible. It started out with you're in a stadium, and then you go to radio, and video killed the radio star, right?
Yep.
I mean, nobody's listeing to the Olympics on radio.
Right.
Maybe. I mean,
very few.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and then it expanded to broadcast, and then to being able to see it on PCs. A decade ago, it was really rough. It had a little bit of the spinning wheel effect, but now you can get it on there's probably 300 different devices that will enable people to see the Olympics.
And people want to see it instantly, which is interesting. So just to switch into the VSEO mode, it's okay. So the videos for the Olympics they go out into little chunks. You're not serving up the whole chicken, or someone's creating content for your business or whatnot. Zeke, maybe if you can dive back into a little bit of you produce a video, what do you actually do to make it popular? You talked about video responses, you talked about annotations. Can you talk a little bit about get into the details of it?
Yeah, so something I talked about is using the right keywords whenever you name a video, whenever you write the description. And I think that if it's the first time you do this, your instinct will be just to write whatever comes to mind. But I highly encourage you to use the Google keyword tool. You can just Google it, and you'll find it. And you'll find that different people search for things by typing different things into Google. So just to give you an example, I just did a Facebook marketing webinar, and we recorded the video, and we did the keyword research, and we found that I think it was Facebook marketing video tutorial was the most popular keyword. So that's what we optimized the video for, just so when people type that into Google, they can find it. So that's part of the optimization, helping the video get found. The other part has to do with the content. And although I said you can never guarantee that a video can go viral, I found that there are 4 different types of videos that do really well. You have funny videos, you have videos that are weird, you have videos that are useful, all the how-to videos. So if you're trying to establish yourself as a thought leader, that's probably the category you're going to fall under. And then you have controversial videos, like this one here, like the commercial we just saw. It's funny, but it's also basically attacking the big companies, saying, hey, you don't want to pay Roger Federer all a bunch of money. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, I think that a lot of marketers have been trained to copy what works instead of coming up with original ideas. I see this all the time. It's like, okay, just what's working? So, and people just take that and do the same. And if someone does another video just like this one, it's not
Yeah.
going to do nearly as well.
I wondered about that. If I redid that video with the different product, would it be the same? What about video responses and annotations? You know, you put up, I've done that where you optimize, and I put up these videos, and I think, okay, someone's going to search for keys, so I'm going to get that first spot on this video. We'll see. But, you know, I never really follow up on, like, if people comment and responses on YouTube. I don't really care. And, like, annotations. Can you talk about that? Is it important and why?
Yeah, so if you have a YouTube account, you can go to any of your videos and click on Edit. And one of the options you're going to see is annotations. And annotations allow you to link to any URL within YouTube. So you can't take, unless you pay YouTube for like an ad campaign, you can take people outside YouTube, but you can take them to any of your pages. So you can invite them to subscribe to your channel or even contact you. YouTube has a private messaging system integrated. So you can say something like, hey, do you like this video? Let's get in touch. And you can have an actual box in the video where people can click on that and go to the contact form within YouTube, and then you'll receive an email in your inbox. So that's very helpful for calls to action. I suggest that you keep that very unintrusive, because you don't want to piss people off with a video that is 5% content and 95% marketing. It should be the other way around.
Yeah. So I did a lot of research for this panel gearing up for it, and the stats are like people are watching videos for longer and they're watching more of them. I mean, it's just going up and up and up. I'm curious of just sort of stepping back into the trend area of what trends have you guys seen, regardless of industry, of why is this continuing to happen? Is it just we're getting lazier, or that's the only thing I can come up with?
I mean, we tend to look at it, unfortunately, from a technology standpoint. It's obviously it's the end user, and Thomas said it's the quality of that content, right? And we look at the technology side of it to look at, well, what are the trends that are enabling the quality of content that users are able to see? Because that's what gets them really engaged with it and want to see it. That's what's creating. Cisco says that I think by 2015, 90% of the bits that are going over the internet will be video oriented, right? So that gives us if you look back 10 years ago, it was more like 10%. But the big trends that we as a company are trying to take advantage of, and I think most marketers take advantage of, is the fact that bandwidth is going up. So your connectivity, whether it's 4G on a phone or your high-speed internet that you have at home, it's going up and up and up. It's ubiquitous. So you don't even have these pockets as much anymore of feeling like I'm disconnected. You feel always connected. The other element is for video, to get the high-quality video, the bit rate of that is going down. So that intersection happens where you can have very high-quality video at a low bit rate going over a network that's having more bandwidth available to it. And in addition, there's some underlying technologies that have changed over the last 3 years that obviously this video doesn't do, and YouTube hasn't fully embraced it yet, which is adaptive streaming video. So you make adjustments to the particular bandwidth of the video in chunks of 10 seconds. This is how Netflix works in terms of streaming, and it's why the quality of the experience has gone up so much, even though it's going over an open internet connection.
I mean, we very much look at from the content perspective. So yeah, there are all the technical reasons why people can watch it more. But what we are doing is we're taking in the sports world, we're taking the sports data, which in itself is very valuable and as a storytelling mechanism for the sport and the video. And basically, what we do is we synchronize the data in the video. And we bring in social media, and we bring in editorial content, and we put it all in a single interface. And what we're finding is by this added layer of content on top of the video, we're finding that user engagement is skyrocketing. And we got some phenomenal stats from the Vancouver games where like the average unique viewer was 112 minutes, which is unheard of in the digital space. I mean, it would be great for a television broadcast to get that kind of engagement, but to get that in digital is unheard of. And and you know, in some of our clients, they're seeing people interacting on average once every 2 minutes with one part of the interface. So I think in the digital space you can create a richer environment that will engage people and keep them watching longer and keep them watching more and keeping them coming back, which is obviously very important.
Keeping coming back probably has a lot as well to do with recommendations. And I know there's this big push with social media and video together.
Yeah.
How is social media driving the growth of video, and is it just because more people are sharing it, or what are some of the other areas?
Well, I think social media has two aspects. One I think is it adds an additional element to the experience. So, you know, to know what your friends think about a particular thing, or, you know, what people that you don't know think about a particular thing, and if they notice something you didn't notice, and if you can get all that content to enrich your experience, then I think, you know, that's a great benefit of social media. The other thing with social media is what I call relevant discovery. So, you know, in your social circle, you have people that are like-minded, have similar interests, have similar views. So you're much more likely to enjoy the same kind of content, and you're much more likely to view a piece of content that is recommended by somebody in your social circle. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how social media really drives traffic, both to and from your content.
So how is that happening, though? I mean, this could either be you or Zeke. Like, how is social media recommendations of videos happening? Just from being in the news feed, is that it? Or what is the push on that area?
Well, I can just say what we can do. Like, with the new technology, you can actually deep link into the video. So, for example, if you're watching a specific event, you can go, okay, share this particular point in the video on Facebook, and you can say, look at this, and you usually go straight back into that point. I mean, we find that to be quite we call it deep linking.
Right, so being able to edit a little bit and customize what point they should look at.
Yeah. What some companies are doing very successfully is they're embedding their YouTube videos on their websites, and they're having the Facebook comments platform on their sites. So they're keeping the conversation there, but all the comments posted to that page also go to the commenters' Facebook pages, and all their friends will see that. So they still keep the conversation on the website, but they get the best of both worlds. They get the social media exposure, and they get the visitors on the website. And something else to keep in mind regarding the overlap of video marketing and social media is that it's not only about social sharing, but also companies can gain a lot of insights as far as what people like. And it used to be like, with TVs, companies could measure rankings or ratings, so they knew how many people were watching. But if people weren't watching, they didn't know why. But now they can, if people like stuff, they can just read the comments and see what kind of things people liked and what kind of things people didn't like.
Zeke, if someone's putting a video into their website, do they want to get the player and embed it in that site and make a video sitemap? Or do they want to get it into YouTube first, and then put it into YouTube? Or should they put it into YouTube first, try to optimize it for the keywords, and then try to get it into their site?
I would say that in 95% of the cases, you want to have it on YouTube, just for two reasons. First, because, as we said before, it's the third largest website in the world. The other reason is that it's a Google property. So whenever you do a Google search, Google tends to push YouTube videos in the search result pages. The other benefit of hosting your video on like Vimeo or YouTube, like a third-party website, is that you're not using your own bandwidth. And these websites seem to, normally they're very reliable. And so you're not going to have a problem with website, like videos not loading fast enough. I would say that the only case where you want to have maybe, I don't know if this is the only case, but one case where you want to have your own video player is when you want to customize the way the player looks. So for example, the video we just showed for our company, we went with something called Flow Player, I think, just because it allowed us to customize the video player any way we wanted. So we could have it autoplay, and the play button is all you see, so you don't see any links to YouTube or anything that could drive people away from the website. So yeah, that's my.
Okay.
my take.
I have one more question, and let's jump to see if anyone in the audience here has questions before you guys make your future predictions, innovation in motion. Streaming, let's just talk a little bit about that. You know, video marketing is one thing of this outbound and lead generation, but maybe we could just talk a little bit about what is streaming doing, what is new with the technology that's coming down the line, and maybe not so much of like outbound marketing, but how can people use that to better engage their customers and do business better?
You know, one thing that's pretty interesting right now in streaming, I think, is what you mentioned earlier about YouTube and YouTube Live. I mean, you think about 5 years ago or 2006 when it first came out, and it really was a bunch of cats, you know, kids falling asleep, you know, in their mush that they're eating. But you know, YouTube Live. I mean, Google has very big plans, and you can see some of that in YouTube Live. The quality and the level of the content and level of production that's going into those. I mean, a lot of people don't know it, but you can go and rent Disney movies now on YouTube, right? You can. It's crazy when you think about it. Disney is pretty protective of their assets. They generate a lot of revenue based on it, and so, you know, I just think it's really interesting in terms of when you think of disruptive technologies, and what typically happens is things start out kind of small and they're not quite good enough, but they're getting a certain segment of the market, and then they just hit this point where it can completely disrupt the industry. And I think in the video world, this is happening right now as a result of live streaming and some of the factors I talked about in terms of the technologies underlying it, but also the fact that there's $100 billion to be made by potentially disrupting, you know, the traditional content production value chain, you know, where you have the ABCs and the HBOs and all these guys, and you got the distributors that are doing satellite and cable and IPTV. Google wants to eliminate that. And they're migrating up market by getting Disney content, on-demand content. They'll get more, and they're creating a whole ecosystem of live streaming partners that are putting very high. They're not going for the you know, the lower end scenarios. They're going for very high production to try to disrupt everything.
So how are they going to do against live stream, which we're streaming on here, or Ustream, and some of these players who actually are having an amazing amount of content going up on them already?
How are they going to do? I think they're going to do well at the top end of the market. You know, they are definitely putting their resources behind having the quality level be equivalent to anything you can experience in a home theater at this point. You can upload 2K content to YouTube. Mm-hmm. Not many people know that. Usually you're just uploading your phone. Yeah. But they have no qualms about the fact that they don't want, you know, the resolution and they want to maximize the quality of the ingest point so that they can do what they need to on the downside, but have it future-proof for massive TVs and
right.
You know,
I mean,
it's going to take time.
I think the real disruption has come with the connected TV, because I think the main block
from what?
From the connected TV.
Okay.
I think the main block for digital video to really take off has been the fact that most people enjoy watching video sitting in their couch, having, you know, the 12-foot experience. And with the connected TV, you know, you get the 12-foot experience with the internet. And I think what will be really, really interesting to see is what happens with the middlemen that have been traditionally, you know, in the middle between content owners and the consumer. Because with the connected TV and with the low cost of bringing content to direct to consumer, it's most content owners are moving slowly, certainly in the sports arena, are slowly moving to being direct to consumer. So, you know, the likes of Comcast and the cable companies, you know, they need to reinvent themselves to fit this new environment. And I think that's a very interesting thing that's playing out right now.
Connect TV. We're kind of running out of time here. Any questions from the audience? Or Paul, I don't know if any live stream questions, any video marketing questions? We have a question over here. Christopher, could you hand the mic over. I don't know if you have enough cable. Come on up here. The mic's more for so it shows up for the live stream people. Just say your name and company and question.
My name is Nate De Niro. I'm with Open Affairs Television, and probably my biggest question would be, how is something like net neutrality potentially a problem?
What's the question again?
How is net neutrality, or basically carriers' power over how much bandwidth they allot to any one given party, whether they're a content producer or a distributor, in a model where, let's say, maybe you have a big sports entity who is able to pay to have their content delivered in a high quality, but in a model in the future where carriers are able to control, the access, the quality, the speed, the throughput that right now is sort of it's a level playing field, but in the future it might not be. Is that something, that happening? Is that something that could change the dynamics and the economics of, someone who's a more independent business person who might be putting a video up and not getting the same level playing field in the distribution and quality that they're broadcasting to a viewer,
right,
as opposed to someone who's got, the economic power to make sure that it happens.
Because if it goes up to 90% video content, you are going to have carrier issues. What's going on there?
I think the problem is that a lot of the carriers are also content distributors. So, net neutrality is them favoring their own content over other people's content. And, the internet is supposed to be this utopia of, of fair and, free access to everything for everybody. So I think it's potentially a problem. I haven't come across it being a problem at this point in time.
Yeah, and if we look out and 5 years from now, there are a couple of carriers that, or all of them, that do have those limits on bandwidth based on the particular bits that are going over it. I think that's going to favor the, from an access perspective and from a services perspective to the end user, it's going to favor those that have invested heavily in that bandwidth, because they'll be less likely to restrict it as much because they have a bit of, an overflow of capability. And I think someone like Verizon in the U.S. market, where they've invested in digging up the streets and putting fiber all the way to the home, has a huge advantage there and would take advantage of it. I think if it goes towards that environment where bits are treated differently, someone like Verizon will crush some of the cable companies that maybe haven't invested as deeply in their network to enable the type of bit rates that can go over, over fiber as opposed to coax or, twisted pair for IPTV operators.
Whoa, I
So
didn't even understand that last sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Twisted pair and an IPTV operator?
Phone wire, sorry.
Phone, simplified, phone wires.
It's copper, yeah.
Copper, breaking down to it. Okay, any other questions? Any questions from the live stream? Name and company, please.
David Main, Very Serious Productions. You mentioned a bunch of statistics about video growing and how it's being used and all that, and I would just love to have you actually go through those. Yeah.
Do you want the source? Well, I'll give you the source, and then you can look as much as you want. ComScore's video metrics. If you search that, you're going to come up with ComScore's report that they do a running tallies of multiple data pieces that they look out on. So that's ComScore video metrics. Live stream question?
Yes, we have a question from Clandas. He says, you mentioned the popularity of how-to videos earlier. I'm a technical writer, and more companies are starting to use video to provide instructions on using products. Might video replace text? Could it eventually replace text?
Might video, so this is the YouTube live stream question. Could video replace text? I actually thought at one point you would not have to search and read anything on the internet. You would just watch videos.
I think I don't know, like I can't really predict the future, but I don't think text will disappear. Sometimes text is easier to consume than video, especially when you want to skim through it. Like, I never read when people send me 4-paragraph emails, I just skim through them and I know what they said. If I have, but with a video, you can't do that. So no, I don't think video will replace text, but you can actually use both. We're not at a point where all videos can be transcribed automatically. I mean, YouTube tries to do this, but they only have like a 50% effectiveness rate. Like, if you actually read the transcriptions, are quite funny because they're not very accurate. But right now, YouTube has a feature where you can actually upload your own basically a text that you're saying in the video, and they have.
What are the tools that do that? So
it's YouTube.
Transcribing videos, you can do it right in YouTube. Is it an extra fee service?
No, there's no extra fee. You can upload the text file. I think they take different formats, and basically there's a service called Speechpad.com, Speechpad, PAD, and they charge, I think it's $1 per minute. So it's extremely affordable. And then once you get this transcription, you can upload this to YouTube. And YouTube has a built-in feature that will synchronize the text with the actual video. So that way you get the best of both worlds because you have video content, but it's also indexable by Google.
It's also good to transcribe your stuff if you're putting up a blog post in a video, because then you can do all your SEO optimization with the text as well. So we're running out of time for questions. Speakers are going to stay until the late hours of the evening, drinking beer downstairs with everybody. But one last question I just want to ask the panelists is to give a prediction here. I like to kind of end these panels with a prediction. We'll do predictions on video marketing. So video marketing predictions. Name an innovative video application or trend that will be the biggest video marketing advancement when we look back on 2012. So it could either be just something that's innovative in the video marketing space, an application, or a trend. Keith, you want to start it off?
No.
Keith's going to start thinking and sweating.
I was thinking that there's a big trend where a lot of these platforms are learning from user behavior and trying to suggest content that will be good for them and relevant. And YouTube is doing an okay job, but Thomas was talking about the TV experience where you sit far away from the TV, just relax, and you don't get the same thing with YouTube at this moment. But I think that the more they learn about your behavior and the kind of things you like, you could basically just push a button and just get kind of like a mix of the kind of videos that you would like, and that way you can relax and watch the same way you would watch TV, but without any kind of commercials or anything. So I think that, I don't know if it's gonna come up, but that would be pretty cool.
Okay, Thomas, and you can give a long answer so Keith can think more.
Yeah, well, I really think the enhancement of video, either through adding additional content and merging it with the video through synchronization, or having reactive video. So, for example, there's a company in the UK which does athlete training, and they basically show the athlete a video because psychology is very important for the athletes in their performance, and they put them in a video which is basically a horror video. And the more scared they get, the worse the ending gets. So the video actually reacts to how the user reacts through, I don't know what they do, but heartbeat and brain waves, etc. So I think, video...
That sounds horrible. That could be very dangerous.
He's
video torture.
Yeah.
Well, it's to train them to control their emotions. And,
wow.
Do that with your kids.
They do. I mean, the guy I met, he said they do a lot of work with NFL and golfers and stuff like that. But wow. I think, video as we traditionally see it as a linear experience, passively viewing it is going to disappear, and it's going to be much, much, much richer. I think, the Olympics will be a watershed event really for video, I think, in terms of enhancing the experience of the user.
The Olympics. Think of Deltatre and you watch the Olympics this year.
And Elemental.
And Elemental. Wow. And Zeke will be figuring out some video SEO stuff. Okay, so big prediction. Here it goes.
Yeah, thanks for building up. That was great.
The camera's on you.
So mine is actually, we deal with a lot of large companies, but when I think of video marketing, one of the things that I did at a previous company of mine was I felt like I did a really good job of creating user testimonials and things like that in a really inexpensive manner. So I would, instead of having a whole production with a big crew and whatnot to go out, I would just send in a USPS flat rate box a little ZI-8 video camera to
if
the customer.
If it fits, it ships?
It fits, it ships, $5. I would have them stage it and produce, I would call them on the phone and they would answer questions into the camera. I think we're at the point
That's
now.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, $5.
We're totally going to do that.
You wanted to trips and tips for everybody. I think anyone with a small business should do that. But now, with this, I don't even have to spend $5 because the other guy has this and can put it on there and shoot a very high quality video. You can put an audio jack into it, and it's not a big idea, but I think it could be something that 1 million people could use in terms of reducing your cost of getting a video asset with a customer that likes you down to almost nothing. Just shoot it on a blank background, white, looks really, really cool and simple, and you just ask the questions on the phone. They answer into their own phone. They send that video to you, and you splice out you asking those questions.
That's going to go viral. We're going to go to a warehouse, and we're going to make a commercial about it.
Let's do it.
It's going to be incredible.
Okay,
everybody, what I would like to do is get a round of applause for these great speakers who came out tonight. One person who I also would like to thank is Paul Collette, and this is a perfect time to give an extra thanks to Paul because it's the video marketing. Paul does every single month our live streaming, our video marketing, and he edits and produces videos for us. So, Paul, thank you very much. Round of applause for Paul. Paul's contact information as well is on any of the videos that we upload on YouTube, and if you want to grab any of these tips or tricks and need someone to produce it, Paul is your guy. So just announcement, everyone, just so everybody knows, we take the summer off at Innovation in Motion to enjoy some fun in the sun. So don't come next month, the first Thursday of the month. The next one will be on Thursday in September. And just as a wrap-up, any innovative ideas to help clean up the chairs is always welcome. And we'll be downstairs drinking some innovative beer after. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, guys.